Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the Akim, the brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered, the speckled bird Israelites who be scattered among the heathen, I say Shalom. And I say Shalom unto the few and faithful Akwat, the sisters listening and learning. This is your brother Yerushalayim from the GMS Prophetic Vibrations Camp out of Trinidad and Tobago, coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Alright, and this video will be entitled, They Shall Cast Their Silver in the Streets. Alright, and it's going to be surrounding this article from RT News. It reads, Bitcoin could become global reserve currency when the US dollar implodes. Entrepreneur tells Kaiser report. Alright, so let's read through this article here, and then we'll hit a few scriptures. It says Max Kaiser talks to Jonathan Chester of Bitwage.com about the new reality of a post-pandemic world and his company's business model of allowing everyone to be paid their wages in Bitcoin. Because this is where everything is leading. This whole post-pandemic world is basically based upon this global reset. And so it's just a plan, by these devils in a secret council, to reset this economy, all for what? Control, to get control. Alright, that's all it's about. Alright. It's just like it's always been their ploy, basically to come up with something like this, some what you would say, some life-threatening disease or virus or something, all right, and cause the people, to basically give up their rights. All right, so the same theory of pressure above, pressure beneath. All right, they put pressure above, they put it, they onset or they plan and set up and execute this global plan, right, which we know what it is, and then it forced people now to give up their rights. Basically people ask for the rights to be taken away. All right, because why? They're afraid of this thing, which is really just a plan by the elites to get their way, to get their global reset. So these people, everybody walking around wearing masks on their face, walking around, scanning people's hands, scanning people's head, taking temperature check, washing their hands, using hand sanitizer. All right, this is social distancing. All right, all this nonsense. All right, that doesn't make sense. That's actually more detrimental to your health than anything else. All for what? All to just reset this economy. All right, you see they're bringing out apps, and cash apps. They're being outright about it. It's only End Cash, like Republic Bank's app in Trinidad and Tobago here. It says End Cash. All right, so they really want to end cash. And we see now China, all right, China and Russia, they pretty much aggressively moving toward that mark. This is truly a new world order, and it's really this great reset where they want to get rid of the paper dollars, the US dollar, and all the paper currencies. And this whole plan, this pandemic, right? It basically just facilitates that. Right, all the shutdowns, the lockdowns, kill the economy, right? And to a point where it can't recover. So the money loses all value. It was already losing value because it's fiat-based currency, which means just call into being. They just say it had a value. They say it have a value and it has a value. All right, but it really has no value, and they just keep on printing more and more paper currency, which just increases hyperinflation. So the more they print, the more each dollar loses its value, and the more expensive products and services become. All right, and we see that happening today every day. You go into the grocery, see those things happening, right? But the Lord basically told us to keep our eye out on these things. It says Mark chapter 13 and verse verse 33. It says, take ye heed, watch and pray, for you know not when the time is. So we commanded to watch and pray, watch the economy, watch the monetary system, all right, watch what's going on globally, all right, because hey, we are the watchmen, all right, the Lord put us on the tower, the proverbial, tower, spiritual tower, to watch and see what's going on, all right, because really and truly, this whole system is his whole system is corrupted. Alright, it's really corrupted and it's going down. Let's continue the article here. It says, I kind of believe that Bitcoin is not going to displace the US dollar so much as the dollar is going to displace itself. Because this dollar is going out. Alright, we know the US dollar rose to prominence. Alright, I believe around 1944, where they basically came together in a council and they decided to use the US dollar as the reserve currency of the world. Alright? So pretty much that's what they did. But we can see pretty much that it's not serving their purpose anymore. So the elites are crashing the dollar right now. They're crashing it, they're bringing it down. They've been kicking the can down the road so far, and knowing that eventually it's gonna come to an end. So they choose this time now and say, okay, this is the time of the Great Reset. Alright? When people will actually believe, when they can actually bring it gradually to let people don't fight up so much, or don't basically just accept everything that they bring. For instance, like the scanners, all these scanners they put for your hand to take body temperature and to administer the some of them administer the hand sanitizer. They place at head height, and you either have to scan your head or you scan your forehead, your hand or your forehead, and that's in preparation for the RFID microchip in your hand and Elon Musk, neural link chip in your brain. Alright, so that's basically what they're doing. They're getting you accustomed through the process of gradualism. Alright, because if they bring this thing suddenly, people want to reject it. Alright, so they're gradually doing it. So when it actually comes, people are going to think that that's normal. Alright, so let's go into this more. And when it says, I kind of believe that Bitcoin is not going to displace the US dollar so much as the dollar is going to displace itself. Chester says, and when it does, what are people going to turn to? Do people really want the Chinese yuan? I don't think so. It's also heavily manipulated. The euro, maybe it will exist in 10 years or maybe not. Who really knows? He adds, so looking at the alternatives, I think Bitcoin is the obvious choice here. And when you have this ever-growing deflationary currency, that's really not so volatile in the future. So it's deflationary and opposed to inflationary. Alright? So the price, put the dollar could just keep on going up. You can buy more and more per Bitcoin. And as opposed to the dollar, which is inflating, and through the process of hyperinflation. Basically because these devils, the system is really not based on anything. It has no backing. It has no backing on gold or silver. Alright? So they've just been increasing in debt. The Federal Reserve has just been pretty much printing more and more money. Alright, and then they're injecting more and more debt stimulus into the economy. Alright? That's really what's going on. Alright? The book of Zephaniah chapter 1 and 18, it says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So their gold, their fiat currency, is not going to save them. Alright? And that's their gold. Right? And their gold full of dross. Right? The silver full of dross. Right? And just full of full of decay. Alright? Basically it's like rust or corrosion. Alright? When the Lord come, He's gonna give us the righteous money, the proper money. Alright, which is gold and silver is real money. Alright? He's gonna take the dross from the silver, as according to Proverbs 25 and 4. Alright? That's what He's gonna do. Alright, so So basically, he says, and and when you have this ever-growing deflationary currency, that's really not so volatile in the future. It's just going to be obvious to have it in your bank account because it's the most liquid way to store value in the world. All right. Um, Pretty much, and what they're really doing is making this cryptocurrency desirable, all right, by artificially increasing the price and decreasing the value of the paper money. So everybody wants Bitcoin now, or they are also using all the idols of Babylon, these sports stars, these actors and actresses. They're going to be using them to push this as well. They'll be requesting payment in Bitcoin. A lot of them know, and that's going to increase the demand for Bitcoin, and therefore going to decrease the demand for paper money. So for pretty much, everybody's going to have to turn to this cryptocurrency eventually, which is going to bring in the mark of the beast eventually, the RFID microchip, all right, according to Revelation 13 and 16. So that's really what they're going to be about, all right, But all this is the doing of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right. Let me go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 17. It says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard their silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Because, they're talking about the silver and the gold of Babylon. Because before all the nations, were they wanted the gold and silver of Babylon, the fiat currency, this US dollar. But now US dollar is being basically worthless, and basically US economy is pretty much crashed. They're trying their best, all right, to heal Babylon by putting in this stimulus, but really and truly, Babylon is dead. The economy is dead. All right, Jeremiah 51 and verse 6, it says, Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense. Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that drunken wine is talking about philosophy and wickedness, but it's also talking about they've taken part in Babylon too. They've invested in bonds and stocks, and those things, in the US bonds, all right. Because the US couldn't pay them, so they literally buy up the debts of America. They're taking a part of her, all right. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed, right. Howl for her, take balm for her, if so she may be healed. And that balm is going into the stimulus checks, the stimulus money that they pump into the economy, the debt financing. But she not healed. Verse 9 said, We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky. And this is why in Revelation, when they say the different nations, the merchants of the world gonna basically lament her, because they made so much money, investing in America and running their business here, in America. So, it's just gonna go down. So they're gonna lament, but they can't make the amount of money they used to before. All right. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 4 says, Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. But we know it's talking about Esau, and cannot be satisfied, because they can't be satisfied. They rule all the world, they own all the banks, all the media, the movies, everything, but it's still not enough. They have to get a microchip in every man, woman, and child, so they can fully control you and create your debt, destroy you when they want to. Everything about you, right? And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? Shall not all these take up a parable against him? All the nations are speaking about, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Yeah, because it's not yours. You know, the world is not, the world really, you know, is given to the wicked, but it's really not, you don't own it. You really don't own it. You know, you're taking lands are not your own. You're taking resources and assets are not your own. How long? It reads, the scripture says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that thick clay goes into debt.
Strong's H 5671 Avteet,
which is weight of pledges or heavy debt, and America's debt is over $27 trillion. All right, trillion. All right, so you know the economy is down in shambles, and that's not even the whole debt. When you look at the total liabilities of America, it's in the hundreds of trillions. All right, so hey, you flee out of Babylon, you know. Don't depend on that, you know, because they going down. Babylon's going down, you know. So we gotta just watch and pray, and look and see what's going on, because hey, they gonna the grinding is low. All right, the grinding is low, and all of you jakes who out there who are daughters of music, you know, things only gonna get worse from here. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, Salakia, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Alright? The doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right? So the grinding is low, the work, it will have a lot of people who have jobs. You're seeing crime only increase. Crimes against women being raped and killed mercilessly, even in Trinidad and Tobago right here. Right? And it reads, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. It's somebody alarm clock too. Alright, in the morning. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All those who like to party and enjoy themselves, go to the clubs, you know, and all those things locked down right now. Alright, you can't even do those things anymore. Alright, so you're going to be brought low. You know, not going to be able to drink alcohol as you want. All these things. Alright, you know, it's just, you know, the Lord said precept upon precept. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. It reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, which is somebody where everybody going to work, you know, all the places in the famous places, nobody there anymore. The full storehouses shall be found empty, you know, famine coming too. And the trumpet shall give a song. When every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. So about all the, you know, the sirens, the police sirens, the army military sirens. Alright? At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So it's gonna be a real mess. Alright? People are gonna be invading your home, you know, gonna be raping one another, raping your wives, your daughters, killing them. It's going to be just like in the book of Eli. Alright? It's going to be just like in the book of Eli. But whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. So the Lord going to deliver his elect, the elect of the nation of Israel. Alright? You know? Because we're not looking for this. We don't care about this world. We love the Lord. You know, we want to do his will. Alright? We want to do his will. But you know, for those who believe in Esau and believe that according to Psalm 49:11, they know what taught is that this kingdom will continue forever, you're going to be destroyed in this place. You're going to be destroyed in this place. Alright? You know, all the heathen, you know, they gathering all this money, alright, all this gold that they're hoarding up, hiding all the gold and hoarding it up, and artificially manipulating the gold price, you know, to make sure it's low, to not encourage people to want to buy. Alright, you know, you gathering all that gold for Jake, alright, for us. Alright, you gathering for us. We'll show you that in the scriptures too here. You know, we will wear all the gold and silver and the apparel. This is Zechariah 14 and verse 14. It reads, and Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. All right, so we're going to wear that gold. All right, we're going to wear that silver. All right, and as for those who don't put their trust in the system, who don't put their trust, in Esau's money, because the money is corrupt and wicked. All right, there's Matthew 6 and verse 19. It reads, "Lay not up yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also, and your heart is your mind." Alright? As the scripture says in Matthew 6 and 24, "No man can have two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he would hold the one and despise the other." You cannot serve God, the Most High, and mammon, which is money. And that's what these wicked pastors are doing right now. They're preaching for money. They're preaching for filthy lucre's sake, and not for the truth. Because if you're preaching for the truth, you ain't going to be preaching lies. You speak the truth and say that we are Israelites, and we have to obey the Lord, fear the Lord, and obey His commandments. The whole duty of the man. Alright? Fear the Lord and obey His commandments. Alright? It's pretty straightforward as that. Because what they're gonna happen in this place very shortly is that this money is gonna cast, all this paper money is gonna be cast into the streets. Alright? And you're gonna be a lot of people are gonna be a mess. A lot of people are gonna take that mark. Alright? A lot of them taking the portion right now, right? The marks, and then they're gonna take that mark. Because why? They're gonna be in fear and they're not gonna have any faith. Alright? Because they done taken that portion already, which is designed to take away their faith. Alright? If you understand what that is, you change your DNA. Alright, this is Ezekiel 7 and verse 19, and it reads, "They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord." Yeah, because all that paper money you have there going to be nothing. Alright, you're going to use it to pretty much wipe your ass, to fun you or whatever. Alright, "They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity." And these devils not going to be able to accomplish their wicked plans. Alright, so they silver and gold, they have money, the fiat currency, the US dollar is going to be cast in the street. All the different currencies of the world are going to be worthless. So what you going to do in that time? Alright? Because that money doesn't deliver you. Alright? Lord said in Proverbs 10 and 22, "The blessing of the Lord maketh rich." Right? True riches come from the Lord. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. Proverbs 13 and 11. Alright? 1 Timothy 6 and 9. Right? It reads, "But they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which strong men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, while some coveted after they have erred from the faith, and pierced them through with many sorrows." So those who love money and love this world, they're going to be taking that mark of the beast. Alright? Pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16, they're going to be taking that. Alright? Scripture also say, "He that covereth silver shall not be satisfied." And we know that these devils are like that. They're not satisfied. They're not satisfied till they own Jake, till they can control Jake and put them to death, as they want. Alright, so what you gonna do in that time? The scripture says, the Lord say, "I will help thee." And that's for the faithful, the elect. Yeah, Isaiah 41 and 10, right? Isaiah 41 verse 10. It reads, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am your power. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my justice." Right? The Lord said he will hold us up. Jump down to verse 14, Isaiah 41 and 14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The Lord is going to help us. Because he's the one who gives food anyway in this place. It's not because you have a job, your job didn't come from you yourself. All I attain in this world didn't come from you yourself. Is the Lord allow you to get it. Right? So there's nothing about faith. Right? And money is a defense. But the excellence of faith, is greater than it's money. It's greater than money. Alright? Wisdom is greater than money. As the scripture said in Isaiah 33 and 6, that wisdom and knowledge is the stability of the times. It's not money. Alright, so hey, seek the Lord. Let me get that. Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Which times? The times coming up here, right? We in right now. And times are going to come. Jacob's trouble, when all hell is going to break loose. And strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his treasure. So you see what's our treasure? Fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord is what is beginning of wisdom. And wisdom comes from what? The scriptures, the holy scriptures, the knowledge and understanding of this truth. Alright? So hey, fear the Lord. Turn back from your wicked ways, before it's too late. Alright? And basically flee out of this place spiritually, Flee out of this place spiritually, because the hardest time in history is coming, even in time of Jacob's trouble. Alright? Even in time of Jacob's trouble. Alright, but the elect gonna be saved out of it. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, Wa Abad Babal, destruction unto Babylon, and Shalom.